I mean, there is just as good a time as any to go ahead and get started. We're just going to jump into the chat room. There we go. Oy vey. How is everybody's Tuesday? Oh, my Monday night was awful. I kid you not, repeated instances of being very suddenly and aggressively woken up in the night, which for me doesn't work out well. I have myopoprophobia, the fear of lightning, stems from my inability to handle jump scares. Like I can't deal with something suddenly changing. If it's a monster on the screen, I may throw fists. If it's my husband standing in a place I didn't expect him, I'm jumping and clinging to the refrigerator. This is a huge problem for me. I used to hide from like the sunrise on the Lion King movie because it would just start so suddenly, and my little child brain could not figure out like when it was supposed to happen. I don't do well with the scary. But in the night, a couple of very large cases that were empty fell over onto each other, and it sounded like either my cat or one of my many children went into the bathroom in our bedroom and just proceeded to fall apart and throw things everywhere. And it was just I have not bolted that quickly out of a dead sleep in a long time. Um, just a lot of things. The baby's been popping off fevers for reasons I don't quite know, because she's already got her 2 years molder. Got him. Whoo! You don't want to got him with people who have a fight to the death reflex. That's a problem. And being nearly 6 foot myself and not small, I can do decent damage for a female of man size. Obviously, I'm not much of a threat in certain situations, but like I keep warning people, please do not attempt to jump scare me. I'm not going to be responsible if you wind up with a crumpled up nose. I actually almost did that to my best friend. She was sitting inside of a door in our high school, and she just kind of goosed me as I walked in the door. My fist stopped 2 inches from her nose. And she's one of those really sweet girls. I mean, really sweet. I would have been destroyed if I had actually crumpled her face over something like that. I was wrecked. I was wrecked times 4. It was bad. But today we are going to be doing much of the same of what we did yesterday on stream. The difference is I kind of have a better grasp of what I want to accomplish in this session. So we're going to be honestly doing a lot of my normal pre-checks when it comes to finding out how to dial in the request in BandLabs. So I'm going to pop this open. We're going to be looking through yesterday we went through a bunch of my singular loops. I throw stuff in there at random when I hear it when I'm making music. Um and honestly, more often than not, uploads, dear lord, more often than not, I will find elements within this that I throw into a piece of music that I didn't even imagine would go well there. Sometimes it's reused pieces, and so long as it's distorted enough through the different elements that BandLabs offers, it's not a problem. If the beats per minute is high enough or low enough, if the key is high enough or low enough, etc. If the general feel of the music is different enough, using elements I've used in other pieces, you can nearly not tell. It feels a bad idea to have the fox yip. Scrunky. Wait, what? Oh, Scrunkle. Oh, the fox yip is fine. How is it? It's that not only have I adjusted the volume so that I'm not blowing my eardrums out in fear, I perfectly expect that throughout my stream, someone's gonna do something like redeem the holy sheesh. Where's that at? Give me my favorite redeem thus far. I love listening to this thing. I swear if it's not in there, you drop something. Maya, welcome. We are going to be looking through a bunch of random pieces and trying to see if we can fulfill Johnny's request. We won't be streaming again until Friday since I literally have nothing to show him at this moment. And aside from having him just like tune in generically and listen, the blessed sheesh. Yes. The sheesh from on high. So that's really what we're going to be doing. I also have a bunch of my older projects that have been popped open and are labeled unfinished. I tend to keep those on rotation because sometimes there are elements that are hidden in there that I can utilize. I would say that one example is my buddy Smug. I recently sent him a song, I would say 3 months ago. And I was jamming, I was cooking, I was putting this kit together, and then I got to a point in the music where I was like, man, this could use like a really neat change up. And I went back through a bunch of my older music, and sure enough, I'm actually gonna go ahead and pull that open because it's a great example of what can happen if you keep your older projects on hand. Let me see. I believe that one was Astral Tide. That sounds correct. Let me give this a listen. Yep, that's the one. I am blinded by the lights. Cause BandLabs doesn't know how to do dark mode outside of their studio. I wonder if that's intentional. Like, they made the entire studio session black, which helps highlight all of the colors you bring forth. But when you go back to their menu, you're let me kabla, I'm blind. Like, man, that hurts. And I apologize for flashbacking everybody for that just now. But Smug's music, what are my hat mask options? um Smug's music was very fun. I think I started with these two pieces, and I just went looking for stuff that sounded like it would go well together in the format. I had a couple of these pieces laying around, and I think at some point I had been flicking through my samples, just the sounds that I normally keep on hand, and each of these pieces stuck out to me as capable of going together. And by the time I got to, I think, this point, I was like, I have something in my unfinished works that would really fill this gap well. And sure enough, I was clapping like a madman by the end. And if you haven't heard this particular intro, it means that you haven't been to Smug's channel. Highly recommended. Pretty sure he's actually live right now, so I'm gonna give him a shout out. I am genuinely surprised I did not modify these volume in any way. Atypical of me. Music is a bit quiet. I'm gonna start from the beginning now that that's a problem. Here we go. I'm not gonna have it that you guys can't hear what's going on in the music. That's not acceptable to me. No worries. I got to the end of that and I thought, oh my gosh, I have to have a change up here that works so well, and I found this in the back of my projects and I was like, this is the one. And for me, the fun in this program is finding the things that, under normal circumstances, nobody would ever find to go together. Number one, my norm is not to work an F sharp minor. Um, But that's how the pieces arrange themselves based on, I have to assume that's an E minor, that's a B flat minor. One of these in here dictated that particular setup in this, and it might have even been something that I maybe grabbed and deleted later, but already set the standard. But this halo portions, this hate portions, I think I've used hate before even in a different piece of music. I'll bet I have. That sounds familiar. Let's go look, shall we? I might have used more of it in a different setting. And I think it was the one that I sent to... Was it this? I think it was this. My eyes! Even just using... Nope, that says anger. I was wrong. Your hate, your anger. I'm gonna close that. But yeah, each of these elements has no belonging together elements at all. Underwater, kalimba, the and sometimes I'll even use the full compressed loop of any given segment. If I go look up under the not favorites, jeez, under the loops, if I just type full, the first thing you're gonna get is full drum kits. And normally if you go look up these drum kits individually, you're going to find the breakdowns of what makes the drum kit. But if you scroll past the drum portions, you're going to start finding full melody. And this is basically the compilation of all of the separate elements that go into some of these loops. You can choose to use the full loop, and sometimes you can just choose to use elements that are separated. Sometimes it will help to separate them out of their full loop fashion because you can control how loud or how little specific elements stand out, which can be very helpful. I think my most popular piece of music thus far on my YouTube, for Lord knows what reason, I got hung up on that. I couldn't figure out how to... I think boost one of the sounds I wanted, but it was stuck exactly in the fashion I've just described. Let me pop this open real quick. My brain after learning things. That's right. I got into this kit, Psytrance. It sounded so interesting. It was coming together in this very Tron fashion. And then I found... Oh, right. I had to break it down somewhere else. I forgot about that. So let me grab the breakdown for that. Light, dark, light, dark. Oh, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So this kit, set for prologue. And yes, this is what this kit sounds like altogether. Neat. And I super wanted to use that in my song Future Tech. But there were certain elements that I could not isolate to be louder or quieter. And for the longest time, I had no way of knowing how to do that. I did not realize it was a compilation. I listened to this free running in Tokyo. Exactly. My song Future Tech. It definitely features all of the elements of this. Finally, I reached out to a person in the BandLabs Discord, honestly, and they gave me some tips and tricks, and I accidentally stumbled on the fact that this was a compilation of all of these elements that I could individually tinker to be the volume I wanted them to be. See, in my setting, we get more of the bass and less of some of the whiny elements. And then I also wanted a version of it where there was no percussion. And a version that was basically only percussion. And then, what was this last version? I don't remember. that little purple trill line, dum 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 dum, that wasn't in the beginning. So I basically broke this up into the pieces I would use to really create future tech. Which, adding all of this psytrance noise in there, just let's let it play. One of the things about BandLabs when you use this program, if you're not paying for the BandLabs Plus or whatever the subscription's called, you only have access to 16 lines of sound. Now, that's doable. I have plenty that fall to or below 16 lines. But when it comes to a compilation this big, excuse me, I definitely didn't have room for all of those bar stacks you saw in the previous example. There's just not enough space for that. So my trick to get around not having to pay for a subscription is to do exactly what I don't even know why I closed that. Let me just go ahead and open that right back up. My trick is to make more than one, please, oh please, ungroup this, more than one studio session. And in this thought process, you can basically make the different elements you need. If I have an overly complicated percussion line, I can make that in a different studio session, download, upload it to the main. So I labeled this particular file Tech Revamp, and I left enough spacing for me to very obviously know when certain portions began and ended, so that when I uploaded it here, I could take out the chunks that I wanted individually and place them where they need to go. Let's see where else I have done this. Psytrance. Oh, here we go. I labeled this one Tech Revamp Rhythm. It's still this file. All I did was put rhythm when I saved it, downloaded it that way, and then cut out the portion that qualified to me as the rhythm section. Here we have again with Tech 1, and I think the ending, I might have simply uploaded it and cut it up a couple of times. In any case, that's why you don't see this giant brick of colors, is because there's a limited amount of space in BandLab. So long as I'm not paying for 32 sneaking, I'm not doing that. I got bills to pay. I got babies to feed. So instead, I use a workaround. I downloaded at the highest possible information count. Let me go ahead and look. No, we're gonna take it back. Down here on the download options, I will take the highest bit count because I want the sound to be nearly as immaculate or as close, so that when I upload it to this particular piece of music, there's not some missing elements. There's no loss of clarity there. We can go ahead and go back to the breakdown. Yeah, we'll go to the breakdown. The version that's on my YouTube has one funny little element. It's the only piece I have with my vocals in it, right at that clap. Oh, that's so weird to see. They've translated all my music to this new format, haven't they? Yeah, so there's future tech. Tech revamp can go. Let's see now. It's also a great practice, at least for me in the way that I do this, to go back and listen to works I have completed because, again, if there's an element that maybe I'm not remembering that stands out as possible to use in specific requests, like the one for Johnny in our 1950s PSA search, going back and re-listening to my music is going to show me some things that maybe I forgot that even existed. Um, let's see. I have no idea what this is. Well, that's not going to help our current request. Oh, heavens, I don't know what this is. That sounds like the world's worst burglar. Like, you making all the loud steppies, my guy. Alright, that's not going to help with our request today. Why does this sound like a workout video from, like, the early 90s? So long as I haven't reached the completion of a piece, and basically handed the title over to the person or pasted it, every title is open to adjustment. I threw Oddball on there because I literally didn't know any better way to verbally state what's about to be listened to. I understood when I clicked on it, it was gonna be odd. I don't put that on there for no reason. This sounds like early 90s workout music. Good grief. I need to turn up whatever that secondary string is in the background because it's very low. Let's look at that real quick. I'd rather fix it now than leave it alone. Oh, it's not something I have control over. Gotcha. This is honestly something that I would need to see to an animatic because this goes on way too long. One of the things I try and keep in mind when it comes to music is that there's only so much time that you have for someone's attention to stay on something without it changing. So, I usually go for a good 8 measures, unless, unless, like this piece turns dynamic about 4 measures into its cycle here. So, unless I happen to have enough going on in the stanzas to require me to duplicate a line into a 16 measure stance, I very much try to stay within about 8 measures. And in this, we're going at 87 beats per minute. That's a lot of time. Even though it's consistently 4 measures, the timestamp on this is 22, where, let's find, I don't even know what this is. I just have Smug's name on it. But I'm going to bet it's faster than 87 beats per minute. Oh, it's almost twice as fast. 8 measures in on this is 11 seconds. Half the time. We had to sit through this for 22 seconds, only for me to repeat it at least half again. That's 30 whole seconds of no change. So in order for this, for me to ever come to fruition, I would either have to find something that speeds it up or I could just raise the beats per minute in all honesty. But it would have to be like an animatic where you can see that there's something going on and the revelation parts of it, the scope being broadened, happen right about here. Um, I have no idea what this is. Let's go. Oh, that's right. I really should name this. This was the piece that I had just laying in the background, and I was like, I have to have it in his music. And I didn't even use all the elements here. I would like to go on note, those sounded dynamically different. They are the same. It's because of the effects that I put on the lines. So when I want to give a change up, even though you've been hearing this rather frequently, something as simple as a very dynamic effect changes the entire thing. I mean, a lot. And sometimes the effects don't have to be crazy. Wooden Room is significant, but not enough to really cause a dynamic change. Let me give an example real quick. Nope, don't add a track. We're just going to put something in here twice. What's this? That's a bit much. PNO. That'll work. My guy, too much sustain. Oh, that'll work. Here we go. You heard that rather clearly. Just some keys. Sure, is that it? I don't care. We're going to duplicate this real quick. Duplicate the track. There is a mobile version of BandLabs, by the way. It does, however, not allow you to do some things. A lot of the micro tinkering I do with these pieces of music cannot be done on the mobile, but it's a great way to like whip out whatever you're working on and showing somebody. One of the most important things for my process is this dynamic audio setting. And I basically can tell the program, hey, I want it to be quieter or completely missing at certain points. But we were here to see the differences in certain filters. So I used Wood Room. Wooden Room. Let's see. There we go. I'm going to mute this real quick. Regular old keys. Let's see. It's subtle. So I would say that this is giving it a bit more space, where the original piece sounds very close and intimate. Wooden Room actually kind of opens it up a bit, as though you're sitting on a small stage in a room. Yes, these are the different filters and effects you can use, and they are wild. They vary so wildly. I think I could probably just like filter through some of my favorites, and you'll be able to see just how I'm already clicked into this. Why am I still clicking it? Let's, instead of Wood Room, let's go with Ambient Wind, one of my favorites, and very, very versatile, but only if you want specific flavors. If you want something to sound echoey, if you want it to sound there's melancholy, you could say it sounds very, it's got a lot of sustain is really the word for this. And from haunting to memory to that definitely changes the tone of this. What else could we do? There's some of the wah. These change things in a very interesting way. Sometimes it will subdue things. Sometimes they will just kind of throw stuff into a wonky fashion. Yeah, that one's a little wonky. Let's try a different one. A little funky. I wouldn't be afraid to use that if I were trying to make something in a dream setting. What's another one I use? If I want less sustain than ambient wind, I go with classic chamber. Still has sustain, still has that very memory, very open sound reverberating off of a, but not overt. It's not a crazy amount. If I want something to have some sustain, but be pulled back a bit, it also can change the volume of your piece. So be aware of that. That's why I had to take the volume down when I went on to ambient wind. What does Beetle Slapback, I think, or Beetle Bass? There it is. Beetle Bass does subdues. Now, the effects I use are pre-made kits by other BandLabs users. So what they really are all of these different equalizers and filters that people put on. Once they have them set in a specific way, you can just literally post them as able to be used. If I remove my search, there's all kinds of filters. There's filters for vocals. There's filters for what your bass is doing. There's filters that make it sound like you have a microphone buried 6 feet under the ground. There's filters that make your guitar sound like it's this grungy heavy metal rock. And to my knowledge, some of the sound bites even have some of these filters already in them. Me changing them with more filters is just based on preference. So now that we have that, I can just undo all of these things, and boom, it's back to being its original format and not affected. I'm so glad I now have this named appropriately. I won't go looking at it again. Oh, heavens, what is this? It's only 13 seconds long. Oh, I also don't have BandLabs, like the display portion up loud enough. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Give me this. I feel like I definitely just gave this to Fish under a different name. Actually, it's my most recent post. I'm fairly certain this sound is in 8-Bit Odyssey. Where are you? There it is. Geef. Yep. It's slowed down here. And honestly, that's a really good highlight for some of what I've been saying about just changing something enough makes them so different. I mean, so different. You would not have noticed these two things as being necessarily the same piece, except when I'm comparing them. Something as simple as tempo changes things so dramatically. I'm gonna go ahead and give this other one a different title. No, I hate when it does that. It interprets like entering the studio as not wanting to hear the music anymore. Oh, I'm cast. Cool, now I won't have a worry of accidentally opening this for somebody else. The only reason I've been sitting in this for a minute is because I wanted to talk about the interesting changes you can have between rhythm. I would say percussion specifically, but honestly, rhythm covers also the bass element. I think I heard at one point somebody say the rhythm is dictated by the bass. Most people would assume it's the drums. It's not. The drums definitely dictate when the beat comes down. Your drum kit is definitely how somebody knows that you're clapping on beat, usually the snare. I know a lot of people tend to know that stuff. Um, but yeah, your rhythm is actually deeply dictated by whatever your bass line is. And that being the case, you can change your music so easily just by switching out drums. And I think I showed that yesterday when I opened up my most recent commission with Feng Shi. I switched the drums up, I think, no less than 3 times, and it completely changed the mood of the music. Nothing else overly significant happened. All you heard was this swell of cymbals and then a change in the beat, which instantly changed the flavor of what you were listening to. Music is so versatile in the fact that, like paint, the sound is taking up so much of your attention. You can basically play magician so long as you have enough sound to cover things maybe you don't like or mistakes, or maybe a piece falls off before it's supposed to. Having enough noise, it sounds rude to call music that, but noise to cover up those instances, so long as you don't tell somebody they're there, they're not gonna know. It's kind of, I think I hear artists say that all the time. Don't point out the mistakes. You're the only one who knows they're there if they're not overt. Let me find... What did we call it? Banishing Tempest, that's the one. Let me pop that over here, and we can go ahead and look into the guts and see exactly what I'm talking about. Meow. What was the percussion here? The bass. I think the bass and the strings are the percussion in this portion. Yeah, it's the plucks. No drum, but there's still a percussive element of rhythm. I like to compare this process to food. If it feels like the music is too meaty and there's not enough light elements, there's not enough crisp or crunch or a little salt and pepper, you can add simple things like a cymbal crash. I took the crash out of the cymbal crash. This is what the whole piece looks like, and all I did was add the sound of somebody tapping the rim. Or this very, yes, it's loud, but light, eru. If it's not enough meat, if there's not enough oomph, add bass or kick drums or rhythm. So now we've had the second kick up for percussion. Third change up. Let's really break that down. Nothing changed here. Nothing changed in this lineup except for removing the battlefield drum into the Viking drum. These are the same. This is topical. If we mute this... Okay, we're running in a theme here. Let's go. Picks up in the back half of the ensemble. Whole different mouthfeel because of the percussion. Nothing actually changed. It's like stage magic with food, but it's music. Whole mood shift because of one drum line and adding this very storytelling air solo. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's the fourth change up. I also added this slow motion drum. On its own, let's go ahead and hear that. It's not overly significant. Sounds like a clock. When you combine these two, however, it gave me very Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you remember one of the most common ending sounds for their credits roll, it sounded like somebody just smacking on a lot of bamboo in a very percussive drumline sense. I loved it. This doesn't even sound like itself on its own. Now we've added a bit of weight to the kick line and to the snare clap, which gives it a cadence. Like, the Viking line already had a cadence of battle. Now this has a cadence of war. The difference between battle and war tends to be organization. A battle is hectic, it's chaotic, nothing survives, no plan survives battle. But war is orchestrated. War is as neatly compiled as we can make it. And that simple change of just adding one percussive element changed the entire set of the music. Let's go again. Battle, we're battle prepping. It's getting serious. And then suddenly, salad. That's the other thing I did here. When this percussion changes just slightly, we enter the next portion of background music, which honestly pulls back. I would say that this portion of the music was very frontline. It was very in your face, it was very setting the tone, and then we allowed the Eru to come in as a solo over that. But with the next stanza of music, it pulls back. It definitely makes its presence known with these little flare-ups of sound, but it doesn't take front and center. Crescendos and decrescendos, and for people who don't know music terms, louds and quiets. A crescendo is when music gradually gets louder, and a decrescendo is when music gradually gets quieter. I mean, I do those all the time when I mess with the audio dynamics in here. Decrescendo, crescendo, decrescendo, crescendo. You can even hear the fact that this music is being slowed down to the point of sounding overly pulled, but it works here because the tone is very solemn and sorrowful and regretful. The broken tone is fine. Like, let's go ahead and listen to this. What was making that noise just now that was, like, very pulled apart? Very trying. Was it this? It might have been this. Let's go ahead and solo this for a second and listen to it being pulled down. Okay, there's a discordant sound in there, and that's what usually happens if you try and, excuse me. If you try and slow down music too far, to the point where you're losing its harmonic composition, I would say, is probably the best word I can use here. Let's grab this for a second and use it as an example. Oh, I grabbed one of the longest pieces possible. Regret. We are not using that. Let's use this. Some people try and put like 46 bars, 96 bars of music into BandLabs. I don't comprehend why. That's basically a song. But if we listen to this real quick. Cute. I need to actually like that on it. Oh, no, wrong one. On its own. I may use that later. If I click on this little funny looking symbol, and I only just learned how to use this, by the way, within the last 3 months. I had never touched the region stretch mode, didn't know what it was, didn't care. I was doing this the hard way, or the long way, whichever you want to do. But basically, I can just pull this. Now I have increased the amount of time to get through this length of music, and I have, by technicality, lowered its beats per minute. So if we get the tempo on this, it has now become 80. That's long. One moment. When we listen to this versus the way it was, so the first thing I'm going to do is make a copy real quick. And I'll just drag this one back down here. Oh, good. I didn't even have to make a copy. I'm going to mute this real quick. And we're going to listen to it the first way. Now we're going to listen to it the second way. Ooh, amazingly enough, this particular piece is perfectly okay with being pulled that far out of sorts from 120 to, okay, 120 to 80 isn't bad. Some of them will start to show distortion at that, but we're just going to go crazy with it. Why not? For the example of what happens when you slow things down too much. One moment. We're starting to hear it, but I feel like I used the wrong piece for this example because it's honestly not doing bad in that regard. What's this? Oh, good. Okay, this one's a bit zippier. It's going to be an easier time to show what I'm talking about. Here we have it under normal circumstances. Cute. I might even save that for a different portion. Now we're going to listen to it overstretched. That. You hear it basically tearing, trying to match the speed. When, if you do this long enough, you'll start to notice when that happens. And it did, in fact, happen in the Banishing Tempest. The difference for me is that I was okay with it being there. It sounds sorrowful, remorseful when it's stretching that hard in this piece. Let me go ahead and not save any of that because I didn't do anything in this except show some examples. 1 second. Okay, now that we've gone through all of those explanations, let me go ahead. Let me know if you pick up on what somebody was putting down. They gave it a cute name. I'll admit it caught me up the first time. a silver plate. I remember when my castle stood upon pillars of salt and pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells ringing, make cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, missionary in the foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter won't call my name. Never in all his word I was without the Lord. Yeah, they thought they were cute. We all know what that is. I don't know why it's in here. Okay, cool. I have the 8-bit Odyssey figured out. And some of these are, attempts at somebody else's, request that don't quite hit the mark. They're early, they're unfinished, and it's perfectly fine. I use them for later, honestly. This is a mystery noir feel. I really don't feel like it's gonna hit for where we need with Johnny. I think if somebody asked my favorite genre to mess with within BandLabs, it's definitely the lo-fi aspects. So many things can be turned into lo-fi. Very chill, very comfy, very cozy. Make you move a little. I enjoy it. But that's if somebody really asks me what my favorite is. Because I have so much fun doing really any of them. Also not what we need. Suspense Plux. Let's see. I don't even remember what this is. I feel like if I were to add a percussion kit to this, it would be very light. I'm talking rims, I'm talking snares, I'm talking, like, maybe some open and closed hi-hat. Very gentle. This definitely feels like a bubble that would be popped if you put too much weight in it. Maybe I will finish this at some point. Yeah, this is half finished. Maybe I'll come back to that at some point. Actually, let's go ahead and label this one half finished. And it'll stand out as something I can definitely just pick up and finish. Let's do that real quick. Finished. There we go. Mystery. Don't know what this is. Right, it's someone that sounds like an 80s crime investigation. I keep hitting that like it's my mute. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything in there that's gonna go well for 1950s PSA. What is this? Clearly, it's a nearly complete fog. I think what happened was I put a bunch of different sounds together to see what would work for a different project. No.
The pink.
I said no. Here. Yes. Jeez, why are those so loud here? Holy crumbs.
You were in my face.
I did, and now I'm regretting having it that loud in here. Was it because the audio dynamic that stinking... recently BandLab's changed up its audio dynamic function on me, and I'm still getting used to it, so let me see what happened. Oh, weird. Why would I do that? Let's go ahead and remove that for now.
Froggy Day.
Froggy Day?
Froggy Day.
Why would I do that?
Froggy Day.
Froggy Day?
Froggy Day. Froggy Day.
What kind of time do we have?
Froggy Day.
Just a moment. I'm doing something. I've been in this an hour. I feel like if I go another half hour, I could probably pull open Froggy Daycare and stream for the littles. Oh, no. I promised the dev crew for Froggy Daycare I'd do that when they were looking. So maybe I'll talk to them and find out when a good time for that is. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. No, I'm not doing that. Nope, I'm not doing that. I'm doing music right now. I said no. We can save this so that stop messing with my volume bar, please. Oy vey, she knows where the scroll wheel is on my headset and proceeds to like just randomly either throw my volume way out or way off. I don't know. Go find it.
It's not in there.
It's not in there. Go ask Sissy to make you one.
Make me one.
Say please. There we go. Epic. There's a bit of a concept here, but it's not anything we can use. I can tell by the description there's not likely to be anything in here, but, you know, never hurts to look. Wow, she really threw my volume. Hang on a minute. There we go. I feel like this is one of the ones that I worked on with Johnny earlier for some of his jazz requests. And mind you, I don't know much about jazz. I have listened to it, but in no way am I a purveyor. So it was definitely a throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks moment for the jazz aspect. No idea what this is. You have it, that's not yours. What? Okay, I don't think there's anything in that one I can use at the moment either. What is this? It's been a minute since I sat on this one either, and I also think this is one of the ones we worked on together with Johnny. again, I'm not hearing anything in here that is going to work towards this request. Sorry, I've been quiet. I'm in a meeting only. I mean, hey, that's fine. I'm in here just listening around for sound, so anybody is free to be in or out of the session at any point. And on top of that, there'll be a VOD. Even if it disappears from my Twitch, I upload them to my alternative, what is it? YouTube. I can even post the link in here real quick. I have literally a dump channel for my VODs that I call Violet's Vex VODs. Like, it's not even a big deal. So if ever you wanted to go back and actually hear any of the stuff that I'm talking about, it'll be over there. Let me go ahead and pop this open real quick. I apologize if you hear me start talking. Oh, thank goodness I have that muted. Let me grab that. And then I just grab this. And that should take you to my VODs channel, I do believe. Let me go ahead and... yeah. It's got the most recent VOD uploads I have and all that good stuff. Very original, I know. Very, very long thought out. But I needed a place that I could conveniently dump them that wouldn't interfere with my music channel. So that's how that operates. Weirdo 4. I know that this entire length of music is just different sound packs submitted by this person, and I honestly doubt I'm going to find anything in here that strikes me as usable for John's. Yeah, no, all of it's just electronic noise. And I doubt Latin Beat will either, but it's worth looking into. Ah, I remember. This was the, not quite on the mark for working with Lynn McKenzie. Oop. And it's not that it's awful, it just wasn't quite what the client was looking for, which means I can use it later. I might consider slowing it down a touch though. It's a bit fast. Meeting over, wolf that went away too long. Nice. Let's see. As I said, I just posted a link to my VODs channel, so if at any point you wanted to go back and see any of these tips and tricks, you'll be able to look into the VOD for today, seeing what we can use for Johnny's request, looking for 1950s PSA. That's basically the title. When it winds up off my Twitch, you'll be able to find it on my VODs channel. Like, that's really how this goes. Let's see. We've gone through all of my half-finished, half-cooked concepts, so it doesn't seem like we can use anything from there for Johnny's request at the moment, which means it's now time to go pack surfing. And who knows what I have picked up in the short amount of time that I have discovered packs. I honestly didn't touch packs until I started working with the Froggy Daycare crew, because I just wasn't... No, that's Audrey's. One sec. But yeah, so I didn't do any exploring into the PAX situation until just recently. I had very much stuck to my system of looking for loops that go together, and that was it. But the PAX are a whole different story. Number one, more often than not, if the loops look like they belong together, let's say the CW, kit pad, whatever, this was submitted in a pack together. And on some level, I understood that was the case. They were orchestrated together, made by the same person, made in the same album, but I didn't really understand where or how. I didn't bother clicking into the packs. The packs have not just the loops, but also the one-shots, which I don't use typically. And this gives context for some of what the person is showcasing in the pack that maybe I might have missed because of my word searching. It also will showcase some of the one-shots, so... Like, this would have been wonderful to have when Johnny asked me for lo-fi jazz. Perfectly on the mark. And it's very atypical of me to maybe grab the entire pack and just use the pack. That's a good way to get myself with copyright issues, because other people would be likely doing the same thing. Rainy day in a cafe out in Seattle. I mean, yeah, Seattle, I see we're in the same place. Washington State, home ground. I see. Go take it out of here. Go on. Crunchy electronic. Oh, nice. Oh, I feel like we talked about that. Yeah, that you're in PA, just like I'm planning on visiting though. Oh gosh, why would you visit Washington State? Oy vey. Very guitar is not what we're looking for. I have to assume you have, like, family here, or there's something here you can't get elsewhere, and I don't imagine what that is. Sasquatch. Starbucks is everywhere.
I lie awake at night just to see your face. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I have friends I game with, and I'm planning a road trip across the states ending in Seattle. Okay, that's pretty cool. I can understand that. I am the person who ends in Washington State, and I'm just like, all my friends are literally everywhere else. I've used a lot out of this pack.
Like I ever used to.
And I frankly intend to continue to do so, but only if I'm kit bashing with other stuff. Let's see. Genuinely the sound of a plane taking off. See, I made something that I thought sounded like this. They definitely did a better job than I did, making basically the sound of a city. Okay, cool. Kung Fu Grip, just vibes, yeah? That's volume 2, beat starters. Okay, that I didn't mean it to us. I'm so sorry. Let's go ahead and let that do what it's gonna do. This is like on the borderline of I can handle I'm gonna be perfectly honest, that's borderline just noise, and that's what my mom calls jazz, it's like a train wreck of noises. Field textures. Komorebi. That stick and kick is hitting you in the teeth. My goodness. Ocean pianos. Somebody was inspired by Phil Collins. Through all of this, I'm listening for elements that I pick out in the examples that Johnny sent. If I hear something that sounds like it belongs in a 1950s infomercial, I'm snagging it. And that's one of the reasons I'm listening to the kits, is I'm listening out for anything that sounds like it would emulate that. At the end of the day, I might have to knuckle down and use the MIDI to recreate everything that you would hear in a 1950s infomercial. I do like this kit quite a bit. Very nice. Again. Yeah, it sounds like somebody turned Viva La Vida into like a minor sad song. I can't give enough credit and shout out to the individuals who go through the process of basically recording all of these pieces and just uploading them here. I don't know if there's like school courses for music that are doing this as student projects, and they're like, yeah, upload a soundtrack, I want to be able to hear it on BandLabs. It's going to be free for anybody to use, so don't worry about it. More often than not, it just sounds like people who have a lot of time at being able to create music, and I am largely impressed and dependent on these people to do this, so definitely a huge shout out for the guys that make these. Does it say real neck injury? Hang on a minute. Gosh darn it. This reminds me of the EDM remix of Pure Imagination. If you haven't heard that, in fact, I'm gonna go there now. I need to hear it now. I just gotta. Please ignore everything on my YouTube. Pure Imagination remix. It's so good. It's so good. Except when there's ads. It's not good when there's ads. It's bad. Oh my gosh. Get out of here, ads.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
I don't do covers. That's something I advertise rather regularly. I have been asked to, and I bend those rules very rarely. As in, you haven't seen it at all. But this is definitely somewhere I aspire to be. This is cohesive. I love this. Not I aspire to be in covers, but just how clean this sounds. It sounds like it was always meant to be this way. I love it. Your imagination, indeed. Like, if I even get an ounce of this ability, have you heard the lo-fi remix of Redbone? It's magic. Huh. No, go ahead and hit me that, and I'll go ahead and give that a listen probably after I swap out of streaming. Also, I noticed that my headphones are not quite hitting where they're supposed to be. If you wanna view paradise, simply look around and view anything you want to do. Wanna change the world? There's nothing to. There is no life I know to compare with your imagination. Take a look and you see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in a vacation. Until there you're free to leave. There you're free, living there you're free, living there you're free, if you truly. We need a head nod emote. I mean, yeah, I'm actually working on my first emotes. They don't move. I'm not that talented. But at some point, I do happen to be in league with some very talented emote artists and like stream element artists. So if I get to a point where I can actually commission my friends to do something like that, I absolutely will. But yeah, I'm working on some very scuffed, self-made emotes. Boy. Yes, this remix does something for my soul. That's actually a really interesting, and this segue was only in my mind, but, in the argument camp of AI, and I know that that's a touchy subject, but hear me out. There are some gems to be found. Should it be passed off as an original piece of work? No. Should it be used to help create, even remotely greater than 0.001% of the time? No. But I did wind up stumbling across a composer who uses the AI to mimic like I'd say celebrity voices, and in that the music in the background isn't created by AI to my knowledge. The background art is. I don't care too much because in the words of Adele, music is for your ears. But it's Plankton and SpongeBob singing to metal, and I love it. It shouldn't go as hard as it does, but if you haven't seen Neon Tide, it's just too good. Um, and it's good in a way that doesn't make you feel silly for listening to it, outside of the fact that you know it's SpongeBob and Plankton. Like that's it. Let's see where else.
Dance with the devil, embrace the bizarre.
Larry Beats. I sent you 2 videos. Listen to the guitar one, and the other one is from my list. Will do. Will do. I really should go through and listen to these packs more often than I click on. These are the ones that I have specifically identified as something I might be able to use for a different client. What's going on in my ears? Jeez, that was painful in an interesting way. But yeah, I need to actually start going through these when I get a request because I clicked on them for them having elements I typically can't find. Because when somebody was complaining on the BandLabs Reddit, the BandLabs is only full of like people submitting their newest hot rap album, and to an extent, if you go to the Discord and type in like @Little, a lot of people in there trying to drop they new Lil Rump Shaker albums. I don't disagree with this, but there are also a ton of people who are just making music for the pure enjoyment of making music in this program. Maybe they're not the ones that are posting most frequently. Maybe they're not the ones that are like active in the Discord or active in the Reddit. But that doesn't mean that there aren't people out there making some beautiful music with BandLabs. They just don't typically are not the ones running around going, "Hey, buy my mixtape." I love the background in this. It gives me very Owl City. I used this, and I didn't know it was in a pack. If you haven't had a chance to listen to the music on my YouTube under the name Tiny Lola Gaming, go look at that stuff. I loved trying to fulfill her particular request. People are gonna think I have a rave going on in my kiosk.
I'm giving it all up. I'd give it all away for you. If you need me to do. If everybody could know ya, they'd wanna spend all their time with you like I do. Like I do. I was just a boy. Wanna leave me behind? I can't change your mind.
Ooh, I like his packs. Thomas Joran Nielsen. I need to write that name down because a lot of the stuff that gets put out for this. Thomas Joran Nielsen. Da, 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 da. Thomas. And I've already forgotten it. Joran Nielsen. Ask me how to spell Nielsen, and I literally just saw it and don't know. I bet I got that wrong. I didn't. Cool. Vandalism sounds interesting. Oh, I just realized my little fox head is actually like blocking what I'm listening to. Chilled acoustic.
Pretty thing, won't you stay a bit with me? I've got everything you need.
Gives me Michael Bublé vibes. Sounds like somebody remixed the Bikini Bottom like background music into that rave that SpongeBob had. Love the ambient textures. Let's do. That's a whole different ballgame right there. More ambient textures. This is a good time to point out that I also do notification sounds. Alerts and notifications are very easy to create in here, and it can take as little as 8 seconds, 4 seconds, 6 seconds. So that is also something I do. It sounds like something I would hear while like shopping at Gap, some other maybe. That took too long. There must be something in there I actually enjoyed. I have to assume I went through the back and found something I enjoyed in there. Hip hop and lo-fi beats. Okay, unfortunately, it doesn't sound like you can help us here. Okay, weirdly enough, I feel like the electric harp soundtrack here might help us if it doesn't sound too... Yep, there we go. Glissando. Tons of glissando. Yep, I'm writing this one in. I feel like if anything is going to help us in here, it's going to be unconventional things that mimic the sound. So this harp, and probably a couple of others. Robert Randazzo. Randazzo, I'm sure, actually, considering it's two Z's. What else is in here? Definitely worth looking into. It's got some of that strummy, and I also know I'm gonna probably be having to do some Xylo searches and similar. What do you mean you don't have a rave behind your kiosk? I see those glow sticks. Let's watch them twirl, baby. Big fan of the acoustic here, but not what we're looking for. Not what we're looking for. Somebody's a fan of Stranger Things. Very reminiscent. World of Boom is a good name for this beach party. Ah, house party on the beach. I see. My gosh, all I can see is a room full of green, like blue and pink, and somebody spinning glow sticks madly, like every time they rave meme pops up. DJ Notorious. I love that. I love that harmony right there. Okay, very, very Terraria. Very, I put a disc in on Minecraft. Okay, I have a bone to pick with Fusion Asian Instruments as a track. On one hand, I have to give them credit. If it wasn't for the fact that somebody went with the intention of putting Asian instrument sounds into BandLabs, I would not have been able to complete either of requests for Feng Shi or for the pink. No, not pink. Okay. Not PDO. Who's the other one? Okami. Both of those requests were with Asian theme, erring on the side of Shinto and Taoism. No, put that away. We're not done with it. But in order to get there, I definitely needed to have instrument types that were even remotely close. So thank you to the people who do upload very atypical searches for music. The thing I have a bone to pick with is this particular pack of music says Fusion Asian Instruments. When you click into it, it has everything from Bollywood sounds to didgeridoo. I do not consider didgeridoo Asian sounds. Maybe I'm the only person who feels that way, but Australia being its own continent kind of gives you the tip-off. The second album they did definitely had more traditionally Chinese, Japanese, Orient style instruments to not be crass about it, but the bass is very slappy. Love it. Actually, lo-fi, if I was going to make sound for a bobbling piece of tofu, this would be the pack I'd pull from. Come on. Oh, that's one I just clicked on. Bounce my train whistles. Bollywood bootleg. Like this particular pack of Bollywood music, it's very reminiscent to South American musics, in a lot of aspects, very Latin esque to me. I would say the same thing about what one might typically refer to as African and some sounds you hear out of the South American music types. I feel like some of this was not well balanced. Things that they're wanting to stand out aren't standing out because the balance is off. Euphoric hard stuff. Musical whiplash, kiddies. Cinematic horror. We can dance if we want to. Oh gosh, I definitely used that particular sample kit, and wound up with every Taylor Swift song you've ever heard. They really will just give anyone a license these days. I do love the drum kit in that, actually, very specifically.
I feel low, I need your help tonight. I feel the fall, I need you, call me now. I need a light, I see you shine so bright. So be my sun. When the darkness rises, there's no way to escape. I want you to be my fire, I have no time to wait. When the night is fragile and all it feels right, I want you to be my lover, I have no time to wait.
Jeez, I was over here about, oh, this would be cute to be in Dreamland, and then they suddenly threw all of the bass, all of the drum, kicked it up 4 notches, jeez. those background synthetics on, I think, one of Fish's early works. Trombone. Music will give you a tromboner. Some very interesting sounds there. Low budget sci-fi. That's a terrifying prospect right there. Hey, you're watching the Sci-Fi Channel. I love the fact that the cover album for this is just a little man with his happy accordion.
Oh, she's a siren, a taste of violence. Turn a full-grown man to a child. Try to deny, but it makes me cry. She's the only woman. The only woman. Here we go. It's the only woman. I lost the fight.
A lot of mad talent that goes into this, honestly.
No, I won't lie for you.
Seems like we have reached the top of the usable pack roster, but I don't feel like this is a waste. Not only we get 2 names that I want to look up the next time I pop this on, we've actually gone through a ton of sounds in a very short amount of time just by filtering through these packs. So what I'll likely do tomorrow is look up not only the 2 pack systems that I wrote down, but actually flip through and see if there's anything that I would not have grabbed in the first place that might help fill this request. So tomorrow's probably going to be more flipping through different sound packs. I think 2 hours is pretty solid for what we have been accomplishing today. So I'm going to hit save on this, and we're going to go back to my chatting zone. And let me throw on the background music real quick. Here we go. There we go. It's possible that I wind up popping on again for stream later in the day if someone calls out for, another person to run a game. I may not stream again until Thursday, so keep a lookout for that. We do have a stream scheduled on Friday with Johnny to maybe go over anything if I have pieces I feel can be presented. You up for Helldivers or Overwatch tonight? That will depend. It's very likely that I will actually be spending tonight with Hubs. He's the kind of person who just like recharges at home with the people in his home. So I'll probably be spending my evening doing that. Unless he's up for Helldivers, at which point maybe I would be streaming or just down to play off stream. It'll really depend on him. But we can go look for a raid target. Thank you everybody who stuck around for the stream, you lurkers and chatters and anything in between. Aside from you bots, go away. But you definitely help this process, and I love being able to share this process with people who are interested in it. Let's see. I think we're going to raid Bacon. Let me just go ahead and grab our raid message real quick. Here we go, and we're going to go ahead and give Bacon a raid. There we go. Alright, folks, I will catch you sometime later this week. Thursday, definitely Friday. See you around.